Hello students, good evening to all of you. Today we'll start about a new topic of this chapter, force and pressure. The new topic is what? Turning effect of force. We'll start with this topic, turning effect of force. But before we start with this topic, I will suggest you please watch the previous video of this chapter. Then probably you will understand this topic in a much better way. Okay, so let's begin with this topic, turning effect of force. So what we have studied in the previous video is that if there is a body which is in a state of rest and we apply force to the body, we apply some force to the body, what will happen? The body will change from the state of rest to state of motion. The body will simply move forward, okay? This ball will go in the forward direction. But think about a situation, the same body is there, but this time the body is, say, pivoted. Means what? The body is fixed. Say this is a piece of paper, okay, huh? A circular piece of paper is there, and this body and this piece of paper is fixed by a nail at this point. The body is fixed. This body is at this point. I think all of you can see the point. The body is fixed at this point, and when we say fixed at this point, we say what? The body is pivoted. The body is actually pivoted at this point. When the body is pivoted at this point, okay, fixed at this point, and then we apply the force. We apply the force in this direction. We apply the force over here. We apply the force over here, and this is what? This is pivoted. Pivoted means what? Pivoted means fixed. This piece of paper is fixed by a nail at the center, and we apply the force at this point. As we apply the force, the first thing that we get to see is that the body will not change its position. Previously the body was over here, the body was changing the position, but since you can see, since the body is fixed by a nail at this point, the body will not change the position, but what the body will do? The body will simply rotate, or the body will turn. The body will rotate in this direction, okay? The body will rotate. The body will rotate in this direction. The body will rotate in the anti-clockwise direction, okay? The body will start rotating at this. So this turning of this is actually called the turning effect. So this turning effect is caused by what? Is caused by the force. And why? Because the body was fixed. The body was fixed at a particular point, and because of that, when the force was applied, the body happened not to change the position, but simply the body happens to rotate. The body happens to rotate, and this is the turning effect of force. So this is the main concept. Try to understand this part. This is the main concept. What is the turning effect of force? When the force is applied to a body which is pivoted at a point, or which is fixed at a point, the body will not move, or rather the body will turn. The body will turn. ऐसा घूमेगा, ऐसा the body will turn. So this is called the turning effect of force. Now we will study few more. We'll study all these things in detail. The turning effect of force depends upon two things. The turning effect of force depends upon two things. It depends upon how much force we apply, and second thing is what? The perpendicular. Achha, wait. Before I begin with these two topics, okay, let's understand this concept called axis of rotation. Let's understand this topic. Axis of rotation. Once you understand axis of rotation, things might become simpler for you to understand. What is axis of rotation? Take a body, suppose take few examples to understand. Acha, take that circular body, okay? The previous example that I've shown to you, take that example only. You take a circular paper, okay? A circular piece of paper, and you happen to fix the paper by a nail at the center. At the center, you fix the paper by the nail. Now, if I consider this as the nail, okay, now a line which is passing through the center, a line which is passing through the center will be what line? The line will be coming, will be going into the board. See, the line is going into the board, okay? See, from here, the line is going into the board. This line which is going into the board through this point, through this pivoted point, a line, or I will say a imaginary line. This line actually really doesn't exist. This line in reality it does not exist. We cannot see that line, but we imagine there is a line. So okay, imagine, so a imaginary line passing through the center, this pivoted point, okay, a imaginary line passing through the imaginary line passing through the fixed point. The imaginary line which is passing through this fixed point, okay, this imaginary line passing through the fixed point is called axis of rotation. Okay, now take the example of your fan. So you have a fan over here, okay, a fan, okay, not this way. So let's take, this is your fan, the blades are something like this. Now the fan is holded by a rod at the center, by a rod. So this fan also happens to rotate. The fan also happens to rotate. Now what is the axis of rotation? Where is the fan fixed? The fan is fixed at the center. The fan is fixed at the center through that rod. So consider a imaginary line passing, okay, is passing through that center, through the rod, okay, and this green line which I've drawn, that is called the, that is called the axis of rotation. AOR means axis of rotation. So this is the axis of rotation over here. Let's take one more example, okay. Let's take the example of the doors. The doors that we normally happen to see. This is the handle of the door. Now you see the door. If we apply force to the door happens not to change its position, but rather the door actually rotates. If we, this is the handle, if we pull the handle with the force, the door will not change the position, but the door will simply rotate. The door will come out or go inside. The door will rotate about its point. So over here, these are the hinges, okay? These are the hinges. So the door rotates about the hinges. So where is the axis of rotation? The axis of rotation actually passes through this. The axis of rotation actually passes through this hinges. So this is the imaginary line which passing through the hinges, and this green line, that is called the axis of rotation for the door. Okay, we'll talk about that in much in detail. So but just now, for now, I think the axis of rotation should be clear to you. It is an imaginary line passing through the fixed point. Over here, the fixed points are what? These hinges are the fixed point, because that hinges happens to hold the door, and the door is fixed through these hinges only. And so the pivoted point or the fixed point are the hinges, and an imaginary line passing through the hinges is called the axis of rotation. Okay, imaginary line passing through the fixed point is called the axis of rotation. So by these three examples, I think the axis of rotation is clear to you. Now the turning effect of force happens to depend upon two things. The turning effect of force depends upon the magnitude of force applied, and second is what? Perpendicular distance of the perpendicular distance between the point of application of force and the pivoted point. See, these are the turning effect of force depends upon these two factors. Now the first factor is very easy to understand, magnitude of force applied. The first factor is quite easy to understand. This is very easy. I think we'll discuss about that, but the main problem, the main part where you need to understand is the second point. Okay, it's a big sentence with lot of terms. I think you can see, and it might create a little bit of confusion. Okay, so we'll talk about that much in details. So turning effect of force. If we talk the turning effect of force, see the door is there. The door is there. If we push the door far with lot of force, the door will also turn faster with a greater magnitude. So if we apply more force, the door also rotates faster. If we apply less force, the door happens to rotate. The door turning effect is also less. So the turning effect or the rotation of the door depends on the first factor, on what? How much force or how much force we are applying. If we are applying large force, more turning effect. If we apply small force, less turning effect. I think this part is very clear to you. Okay, take any example. Okay, take any example. The door, for instance. Okay, so more the force we apply, more the turning effect. Less the force we apply, less the turning effect. Now coming to the second point. Second point is the point where you need to concentrate much more, because most of the question, reasoning based question, comes from the second point only. I'm rubbing the first point because all of you have understood. Now turning effect of force depends upon the perpendicular distance. Okay, let's understand this thing by a help of examples. I will take the example of the door only. This is the door. Okay, I'm rubbing a little bit. This is the door. Okay, this is the door. And if you see the hinges, where are the hinges? I think there are 3 hinges in every door. 1 hinge, 2 hinge, 3 hinge. Okay, these are the 3 hinges which holds the door to the wall or the frame. It holds the door to the frame. If I consider this is the door and consider this as my frame, so these hinges happens to hold this door with the frame. Now where we apply the force to open or close the door? We apply the force in the handle. So this is the handle of the door. So this is the handle where we apply, or where we hold it and apply the force. So where is the first thing? Point of application of force. Point of application of force. So the force that we apply to open or close the door. The force that we apply to open or close the door, that is called the point of force. So our point of force is over here. This is my point of force. Where? At the handle. So at the handle, it is the point of application of force. The place where the force is applied, that is called the point of application of force. The exact position where the force is applied, that is called the point of application of force. So the point of application of force is at the handle, which I represented it by the letter P, right? Now, second thing, pivoted point. Where are the pivoted point? This is the pivoted point, this is the pivoted point, this is the pivoted point. So if I take this as the pivoted point, okay, just changing a little bit, I'm representing this by the letter F. So this is the point where the force is applied in the handle, and these are the three pivoted points. Suppose I take the middle one as the pivoted point. Now between the pivoted point and the point of application of force, there is a distance, and this is the distance from here to here. This is the distance. I represented this by D. So D is the distance between the pivoted point and the point of application of force. More the distance, more this distance is, more is my turning effect. If I have less distance, less is my turning effect. Okay, more the distance, more the turning effect. You can see, consider the example. Suppose if the handle of the door is situated not over there, if I simply put the handle of the door over here, okay, so now see the distance is what? Now distance is very less. This is the where I apply the force. Now the distance is very less. If the distance is very less, okay, so what happens? If the handle is over here, then I have to apply more force. If the handle is over here, then I have to apply more force to close the door or open the door. So obviously I think there is no door in the world where the handle is in the center of the door or towards the hinges, because if the handle is near the hinges, then we apply more force, then the turning effect more force, and also our turning effect is very less. So as distance is less, turning effect will be also less. Now, but if my handle is over here, if the handle is over here, then what happens? The distance is more from here to here. The distance is much more. You can see the distance is much more compared to this distance. This distance is less and this distance is more. So as this distance is more, my turning effect of the door will be also more. So turning effect depends upon the perpendicular distance, means the straight distance. Perpendicular means straight distance, okay, between the point of application of force. This is the point of where I apply the force, point of application of force, and the pivoted point. So more this distance, more is the turning effect. Less the distance, less is my turning effect. More the distance, more the turning effect. Less the distance, I apply force, but the door won't turn so nicely. So less turning effect. Okay. So I think this part should be clear to all of you. If this part is clear to you, then we can go to the next part of this topic. Now this turning effect, is actually product. Product means what? Multiplication. Is a product of force and perpendicular. This is a sign of perpendicular, okay? Perpendicular distance. This turning effect is equal to the what? It is equal to the product of force and perpendicular distance, okay? Now consider a situation. This situation, if you consider, I think it will be easier for you. Suppose turning effect is 100. Turning effect is 100. Turning effect is 100. Now if you see 2 into, okay, let's take a different. 50 into 2. 50 into 2 is 100. Now see what I do next step. I increase the perpendicular distance. Previously it was 2. Now I will increase the perpendicular distance to 5. So you see the perpendicular distance increase to 5. If I increase the perpendicular distance from 2 to 5, Now what else I should write over here? I should write over here 220. So what happens? As I increase my perpendicular distance, the amount of force that we are applying through our hand, the amount of force happens to decrease. You see, perpendicular distance increase, the amount of force decreases. The turning effect is same. The turning effect, the amount of force or the turning effect of the door, that is constant, but the turning effect is equal to force on distance. So as the perpendicular distance happens to increase, the amount of force that we apply, this is the force we apply, that happens to decrease. We further increase, okay, we further increase. Suppose we increase that to 25. We increase that from 5 to 25, and what we write over here? Only 4. So as the perpendicular distance increases, the amount of force that is applied by us decreases. So the machines or the instruments that we'll talk about, that you will see in all the instruments, the perpendicular distance is more. Why the perpendicular distance is more? If the perpendicular distance becomes more, then the force that we apply with our hand, okay, that becomes less. And obviously we want to be more effective, we want the force that we should apply should be less. We obviously, no one wants to apply or say utilize lot of energy of our body just to open a door. No, we don't want. We just need to apply little bit of force, or we want to utilize very less energy. So if we apply, so in order to apply less force, our perpendicular distance should be more. Only if the perpendicular distance is more, you can see this example, only if the perpendicular distance is more, 25, then the force that we should apply is becoming less. Okay, now I think this part should be clear to you. If this is clear, then we will move on to all the examples that has been given to you in your book. Now let's take the example of a simple spanner. Now I cannot do all the examples in your book. I cannot, because the time is not there. But I will do few of the good examples that will help you to understand this concept. Now if you take a spanner, if you don't know what is a spanner, this is a spanner which is used to tighten a nut bolt. So this is a nut, and to make this screw or this nut tighten, what we use, this is a kind of a instrument that you happen to find in the cars. Okay, if you have a car at your home, you will find this thing. So so this is called a spanner. This is the spanner, and this spanner is used to tighten a nut. Now if you see this spanner, this length of the spanner or the handle of the spanner is really big. Why? Same concept. Turning effect is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Force into perpendicular distance. Now as I've written, if you have seen the in the previously what I've written, turning effect is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the pivoted point, between the point of application of force and the pivoted point. So where is the point of application of force? This is where I apply the force. So this is the point of application of force. And where is the pivoted point? This is the pivoted point. Okay, this is the pivoted point. So this is the pivoted point, and this is where the point of application of force. And between them, the pivoted point and the point of application of force, this distance, I will try to keep this distance as big, as long as possible. Then only, if my distance is big, if my distance is large, going up means distance is increasing, distance is more, then the force that we apply to tighten it is less. So if distance is more, this distance is more, then the force we apply to tighten this screw becomes less. So in a spanner, we try to have a long spanner. Why a long spanner? To increase the perpendicular distance, between the point of application of force and the pivoted point. So if the distance becomes more, the force that we should apply to turn this or to tighten the screw is less. Now let's talk about the second example which is given in your book. Let's talk about the second example. So if you have seen a truck, the steering wheel of the truck is really big in size. The steering wheel of the truck is very big in size. Okay. This is the steering wheel of a truck. Now steering wheel of a truck, if you see, is actually very big in size. Why? Because the same thing, if the turning effect is equal to force into perpendicular distance, we know this formula, okay? So this is my pivoted point, this is the point, this is the pivoted point, okay? And this is where I apply my force, or this is where I apply my force. If you see the hands, when we apply, if you see the truck driver who is holding the steering wheel, puts the hand over here and here. So the point of application of force is where? Here. And this is the pivoted point. And the perpendicular distance between them is this. This is the perpendicular distance. So if bigger the steering, if I have a bigger steering, then the perpendicular distance is more. If a bigger steering will have a more perpendicular distance between, and if I know if perpendicular distance is more, if this becomes more, the force that I apply to turn the steering wheel becomes less. So the force that I apply to turn the steering wheel becomes less. So obviously in the truck drivers you will see the steering wheel is very big in size. Why? Because that becomes comfortable for the truck driver to rotate the steering wheel. Okay. Now I'll use the last example over here. Okay. Last example. And also the notes will be given along with this. The notes are given. Now if I take the last example, the potter. Okay. The potter. If you see a potter is making with the clay, the pots. Okay. He uses something like this. He uses a circular wheel. In the circular wheel, he happens to have this pot somewhere. And this circular wheel, how this person happens to turn the circular wheel? There is a stick. The stick is over here. The stick is at the end of the wheel. This is the wheel which the potter happens to turn, and the stick is actually at the end of the wheel. Why? Because the same concept. This is where the point of application of force. The potter happens to hold the stick and turn it, rotate it. So this is the point of application of force. Okay, and this is the pivoted point. And this is the point of application of force. And we know turning effect is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Now we know, so what is the perpendicular distance? Perpendicular distance between the pivoted point and the point of application of force. Now if the stick is over here, the perpendicular distance increases. So this perpendicular distance happens to increase, and if this value increases, correspondingly this value will decrease. So we need to apply less force to turn this wheel. So keeping the stick at the end will make easier for the potter to turn the wheel. Consider the second situation. If by mistake the potter happens to put the stick not over here, put the stick somewhere over here. Okay, the stick is over here. Then what would be the consequences? Okay, so now the point of application of force is over here. This is the point of application of force. Now the distance between the point of application of force and the pivoted point is what becomes less. So this distance becomes less, and we know if this distance becomes less, perpendicular distance less, correspondingly the force that we are applying, that becomes more. So what happens? The potter has to apply more force to turn the wheel if the stick is over here. So obviously the stick, if it's over here, the perpendicular distance becomes less, and the perpendicular distance, if it becomes less, the force that we apply, the force which is applied to turn the wheel, to turn the wheel, okay, to rotate the wheel like this way completely, okay, so the force that we apply to turn the wheel, that becomes more, which we don't want, which we never want. So what we do, we keep the stick not over here, we try to keep the stick over here. If the stick is over here, then what happens? Perpendicular distance becomes more. If perpendicular distance becomes more, perpendicular distance increases, the force will naturally decrease. So this is about the turning effect of force. So turning effect of force is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Now I will not begin with the moment of force, but I will just give a gist. This turning effect of force, actually in proper physics term, that is called the moment of force, or it is called as also torque, T-O-R-Q-E-E. So moment of force, also the turning effect of force, is moment of force, that is actually the turning effect of force only, but in a more more physics words, okay, more nice way to represent it. So moment of force is actually equal to what? Is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the pivoted point and the point of application of force. So moment of force is equal to what? Force into perpendicular distance between the pivoted point and the point of application of force. So where you apply the force and the pivoted point, that between those 2 points, between these 2 pivoted points and this point of application of force, a certain amount of distance, and that distance into force gives you moment of force. Okay, so today we'll complete till here, and after that we'll continue with the next topic. Next topic is what? Moment of force. So you watch this. If you haven't understood this video, please watch it once more,